This is part four of the Land's Remaining playtest. We have taken about a month or so off in between session three and session four, so we've been doing a little bit of catch up off recording. We were not originally planning on continuing with this playtest when we started it. We were just going to do three sessions, and so this is not going to play out exactly like it might have if we had like from the beginning knew we were going to keep playing. But I think it'll be pretty close to what it would have been like. So with all that said, let's do our start of session procedure. So right now you have one active mystery. Well, it's not an active mystery. You have one question. You have an active mystery. I'm going to set that aside for a second. You have a question still on Elegy. Elegy is not active in that sense. It's not an active mystery, but you do have a question, which is how do we open the Morning Tower? As long as that question is live, you can return to Elegy whenever you want in order to either find more clues or to answer the question and open the Morning Tower. So you can always take Pale Crossing and do that. So just know that. Also, as long as that question is still active, any clue you find in the Great Forest can be recontextualized and applied instead to the question of how do we open the Morning Tower. So know that as well. You also have an active mystery, which is the Mouldering Court. We'll get to that in a moment. At first, though, before we go any further, I want to check in with the journey that we did last time. So Alina and I talked about off mic that if Alina had known that we were going to keep playing, or I posited that if Alina to Alina that if we had kept if Alina knew that we were going to keep playing, then that she would have like done the Oracle move for the Crux Druid on that journey, the Castle Bragan journey. So now that we have decided that you're going to do that move. So Nazel, we'll kind of rewind a little bit. That same night that you all were camping in the ruins of Castle Bragan, instead of moving on or going to sleep, perhaps, you sneak off to find a sacred tree somewhere nearby, out of earshot of the others. And someone is going to meet you at this sacred tree. Who is it?
Sir Kalen from
Sir Kalen.
Elegy.
Sir Kalen. We don't know how he got there to Elegy. Maybe he took the Pale Crossing as well. You've been in the Great Forest for you've been probably traveling for a few days now at this point. He's there. His armor is has been polished, and his sword is unraveled from its oilcloth, perhaps for the first time since he was resurrected as an ember. And as he steps into the clearing where this sacred tree is, he sees you and says, I am an ember grown cold no more. Let's check in with the move. The move, your core move, is called Do Not Let Me Hang Alone, one of your core moves. While on a journey, you can name a side character or supplicant that meets you in secret. Go ahead and roll with Cinder.
Okay. Is there an opportunity for me to get advantage or
You can mark an
we haven't
aspect,
done
yeah.
much of the scene. Okay. Yeah, I would like to. Uh, I'm marking the first aspect on the Tenderbark Confessor, which is a long staff twisted with vines and flowers, is the aspect.
Mhm.
And the way that I would like this to play out is I feel like the vines that are twisted around the Tenderbark Confessor are not just decorative; they're there to communicate with like the land around me, and so
Oh,
I can like by sort of like slamming the ground, like sort of get nature on my side to like help me in this if he struggles.
oh, good. I like it. It also could just be like, I also like the idea of it being like a statement of power. It's like I
Hmm.
am here. Like
Yeah,
you will
you're
obey me.
you're grown cold no more, but I was never cold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good. Go ahead and roll
uh,
Cinder. It looks like you have a -1 now in Cinder. It looks like you took an advancement to bump it up.
I did, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so advantage.
Yes.
Okay, all right, here we go. It is a 5.
Good way to start off. We love it. Okay, it says on a miss, they have not yet learned their martyrdom, or they are there to kill you, and you have to roll the dark move in order to turn them into an oracle. And indeed, poor Sir Caelan will be a very poor sacrifice as well. Um, he says, "I am an ember grown cold no more, but my fire must still be stoked. My sword must be blooded so that I can continue on the path that the old fire has set me upon. I must strike you down, witch." And he raises his sword. This is the dark move. How do you respond?
So I want to try to use the grove around me to my advantage. So I want to duck out of the way, and then I want to be like ducking through the trees and things so that he can't get a clear shot at me. And also using his armor to my advantage because he's wearing a helm, and I think I can get into like a blind spot basically and like dent it into his head. That's my intention.
That might be why he goes on the tree with very few health boxes, right? Because you brain him on the way. That's good. Okay, so I think this is going to be it's probably some combination of reason and vitality, weirdly, but I'm going to go with vitality. So do you have any aspects
Okay.
you'd like to mark to help you out with this?
Do I? Yes. Yes. And again, on the Tenderbark Confessor, it ends in a claw of sharpened branches and iron splints. And that is specifically what I'm going to hit him over the head with.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Roll vitality and advantage.
Fantastic. Here we go. Okay. That is an 8.
Fantastic. I think the way this is going to go, I'll take the scene. Oh, well, I didn't ask you what you're afraid was going to happen if you failed.
Oh.
I think it's pretty obvious what was going to happen if you failed. So let's go into it. I think what's going to happen is you do what you intend, but it's not as clean as that. You smash him on the head. You kind of dodge him. You spend some time like kind of evading him, maybe even like kind of in a way luring him to the tree itself. And then you bash him on the head, and you think he's down for a minute, like he's laying face down at the roots of the tree, right? And as you get ready to like haul him up and do your work, he snaps to life, almost horror movie style, and uses like a gauntleted hand to like backhand you. And I think he actually knocks out some of your teeth. And so you have missing teeth as a condition. But the rest of the scene is yours. Describe how you ultimately subdue him and how you turn him into an oracle.
Yeah. Spit out the teeth at him so that the blood and spit and teeth are like on his face there. And yeah, and then I'm just gonna hit him again in the head just to subdue him, and then I need to strip his armor off because that's going to get in my way. So I do that, like taking off his armor, piling it up at the base of the tree, and then stringing him up and using the nails to like. The thing about this is that I don't want him to die too quickly because I know that I don't have much time here. I don't have time to like sit and wait and like just stay here for 3 days like I would have done back in the time of the old fire. I have to go because they'll miss me. So I need to make sure that he's going to last a very long time until I can get back to him. So it's very careful. The way that I'm just like he has to be supported, like his lungs and everything have to be supported while he's gone so that he doesn't die too quickly. The holes that I'm making with the nails have to be like just right, like not any major arteries because I need him to still be here in a week or two when I get back to this. But he's definitely 100% incapacitated. He is not going to be moving.
Fantastic. So you now have two oracles, one on Elegy and one here near the ruins of Castle Braken, and they were both like 6 minus ads, weren't they? So
Yes.
so normally the oracles have essentially 6 health boxes, like to determine how long they last. But these are two very poor oracles with 1 health box each. So
One each?
one each.
No! That's
So
terrible. This is why I bumped Cinder on my advancement. Ah.
so they're not great oracles. They're great. They're just not going to last long. So fantastic. Let's fast forward a little bit. So typically what I would do at the start of session is if you had fewer than 3 active mysteries, I would introduce a new one. But because I thought we were ending after 3 sessions, I ended in a weird place last time. And so I'm going to instead just say we're going to just kind of properly start this first mystery and not introduce a brand new one. And so to that end, I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce it. It is called the Mouldering Court. You have heard whispers of a place where flowers once grew to overflowing abundance, where the fae danced beneath lantern-lit bowers, and mortal poets wept to see such beauty. They called it the Rose Court, a garden realm ruled by Lady Cenduwain, a sovereign of grace, wit, and wonder, whose footsteps created trails of sweet blossoms. That was before the dimning, before the roses blackened and split under the first touch of bloom rot, before the gardens sank into a choking mire of stagnant water and rotting petals, before Lady Cenduwain became the thing now known as the putrescent queen. The stories say she sits at the swamp's heart, attended by the diseased remains of her court. They say her beauty withered to madness, her laughter curdled to a wet, rasping croon. She is too powerful to approach directly, too broken to reason with, and too rooted in sorrow to leave her throne of thorns and muck. Yet there is one tale, old, uncertain, half forgotten, that may offer a path. When the dimning came, Cenduwain did not fall to shadow. She fell to grief. She lost the one she loved, and in that loss her heart unraveled. If the tale is true, then to reach her, to stand close enough to survive her terrible power, you must uncover the truth of that lost love. You must learn who they were, what they look like, their story, and then wear it like a mask to the heart of the swamp. And that leads to our question: what is the nature and story of Lady Cenduwain's lost love? It's complexity 8. The opportunity is to resolve the mystery by seeking the heart of the swamp and immediately engaging in a struggle against the putrescent queen. Now, we don't dwell on how you all learned about this mystery. It's not important for our purposes. Perhaps you, in the few days you've been in the Great Forest, perhaps you overheard it from some travelers that you came across. Maybe you just remembered because your memories are all kind of trickling back to you. Maybe it's something you've always known. But in any case, if you're going to reach the throne of the hidden king, you must remember yourself, you must remember this world, you must explore its mysteries. And so here we are. Also, I'll remind you, this is strictly out of character knowledge at this point, but you also have this Lord question of how do we reveal the hidden phase city of Lyrelen in order to find Noxiliax, the Emerald Nightmare, the dragon that rules this great forest. Now, the Embers don't really know about this. This is something for us as players, but it's just something to keep in mind. And so with all that said, we will begin the Mouldering Court. And we're going to start with your arrival. It's the heat of midday. The Mouldering Court is black water lapping at the base of fallen arches, countless blackened roses sagging under their own spoiled weight. A perfume of sweetness and rot hangs heavy in the air. Let's paint the scene. Once this court embodied fey splendor. What detail shows how its beauty endures, not intact, but twisted into something mournful, haunting, or defiantly alive? Whoever wants to answer first, go ahead.
Think there is a strange abundance of frogs, and they have like these very like deeply red or like deep purples, like very vibrantly rich colored like throats that are bulging with these very dramatic croaks that are sort of like echoing around, these things that are not considered beautiful perhaps, although maybe they once were. But I think now in sort of this spoiled rotten place, like these specks of colors and this like defiant screaming of I am alive, I am alive, I am still here.
I think similar to that, there is a painted canvas of fungi and mushrooms of various colors and descriptions that speak both to the decay and rot, but there's a particular beauty about them as well.
If you look beneath the mushrooms, you can see that many of them are growing out of the corpses of animals that have died and just been left where they fell.
And some of those mushrooms are also growing out of what, in the time of Fae splendor, were giant gourds that were used as that have signs of having been implanted with doors and windows, as if they were once buildings.
I'll point out a few things. Picking up on the mushrooms idea, I think that there's a particularly thick patch of them, maybe 50 or 60 paces away, but you can see someone as you kind of arrive. You can see someone kind of kneeling down in this like patch of dark mushrooms on this soggy ground. And they look like they're almost like leaning down to like whisper to the mushrooms or turn an ear to the mushrooms. Another thing you'll be aware of is that kind of up in the opposite direction, you might have even noticed it as you were approaching, but in the opposite direction, you will see what some of you might remember as the legendary Cenduwain's Gate, the sort of entryway, the grand gate that would welcome people to the Rose Court. You'll see that over there. And then somewhere else, you will hear, ha, 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 ha. Yes. Yes. Ha ha. I call thee out, villain. Defend yourself. Ha. My sword's roar is for you, scoundrel. Ha. This is the scene. What do you all do? Where do you go? The scene is now yours.
I want to approach that sound, that the person over there. Ideally, seeing them before they see me. I would like to be sneaky about it, but I want to head that way.
Yeah, Shelf, Old Smoke.
Going to approach the fellow kneeling by the mushrooms.
I I will also, as stealthily as possible, make my way over. I don't want to be seen by whatever's making that noise.
The sort of like swordplay noise.
Right. If I can come up behind the swordplay noise, that'd be ideal.
Gavin, what are you doing?
I would like to use and I'm a beacon most lonely, so I think I'm going to wander off from the rest, probably like towards that gate and kind of just get a lay of the land.
Yeah. We'll start with the mushroom guy. Shelf, you see a young man wearing simple traveling clothes, boots covered in sackcloth, very slight build. Are you are you just walking up like casually?
Yeah, just armor sloshing through the swamp.
Dude, he will look up at you, and you can see that he would have a bright and handsome face if you could get the dirt off of it. um, he he seems to spend quite a lot of time in the mushrooms, and he says, "Oh, hello there.
Uh, Hail, you kneel, but to what end, to what sovereign do you pledge loyalty?
No, sovereign, we we have no leaders here, do we?" He says as he runs a finger across the velvety cap of a large mushroom. You might say we're more of a collective.
A collective, then do you feel what these fungus feel?
Oh, oh yes, yes, yes. I, I, yes, I love the mushrooms. You see, they, they are my friends. Mushrooms they don't lie. They tell you things. They tell you where the world is softest, where it's dying, where it's ready to grow again. I listen to them. They listen back. Some people think rot is an ending, but that's only because they've never heard a mushroom laugh. Oh, they do laugh. And yet they can be so quiet, so patient, waiting for everything else to catch up.
Your, I, I see. They are your brethren, your siblings in arms. Very good. So, well, you said that you know what they feel. Where do they feel that the world is ready to grow again?
Go ahead and make the information move with presence. Let me take a look at your conditions. Do you have any conditions? You have merciful. Oh, we didn't do a conditions reminder, but I will remind you of this since it's been a month. That merciful condition can be cleared at any time to get an automatic 10 on a roll. So just FYI.
Okay.
That's the one you got from Old Gore. But otherwise, you're good. So it'll be with presence.
Then that will be an 8.
All right, we'll come back to this. Old Smoke and Nizelle sneaking up on this person is no trouble whatsoever. They're in a kind of a slightly elevated clearing where the ground is a little drier. The sun is shining down, glinting off of this person's armor. This person is broad-shouldered, imposing. He has a mane of bright red hair, and that armor is fashioned into the likeness of a lion's face. And he, he's kind of just like sparring against an invisible enemy. He has this sword and he's like, thrusting and parrying invisible blows, right? And constantly calling out, hear me now, ye devils! I shall send you back into the depths of hell! Ah! What do you both do?
I imagine we're together, right? Old Smoke, we approach together. Okay. So like maybe crouching behind a tree stump just watching this, and I'm like running my tongue over the gap where my teeth used to be and being like, I think we ought to kill him.
I think Old Smoke is more the observant type rather than act right away, and might suggest to you that we watch him for a moment or two to see if there is something more than madness that he gives away.
Well, he has a sword and he has armor, so if we watch him too long, he'll be giving us the wrong sort of thing, but all right, let's watch.
I do like the idea of observing him for a moment. Old Smoke, since you had the idea, you can make an information move with composure.
9.
Nine.
That's good.
Gavrin the Everlit. You said you were heading to Kenduin's Gate, yes?
Yes.
The gate is essentially a tall set of marble doors, veined now with creeping rot. Thorns clutch the stone like desperate fingers. There's a faint vibration kind of humming in the air as if the gate remembers music. It's not a gate that literally blocks anything. There's no fence or anything. It's just like a kind of freestanding marble door, more symbolic or ritualistic, I guess. But let's paint the scene, everyone. This gate once welcomed lovers and exiles alike. What trace reveals the tenderness or heartbreak of those who once passed through it?
There are roses with blooded thorns spiraling around the arches.
Inside the arch, like if you had just gotten through it, there's benches built in, and they're just so worn from where people like got right here and just immediately collapsed in relief at having been made it through.
Or I would have thought maybe a lover's embrace, too, you know?
Yeah.
I think as Gavin kind of like runs a hand over it, maybe like, some of the thorns are like so rotted that they immediately give away. And I think behind that is a little in the gate, it's like a little nest of a bird. And it's just filled with like soft silks, what seems to be like a gem that might have once belonged in a ring. Like all of these trinkets that you can imagine that lovers gave each other, now no longer belonging to them, but reclaimed back to nature.
Hmm.
I think on the archway itself, there is a stone relief, and quite an intricate stone relief, even though so much time has passed, of the upper torsos, arms, and faces of two lovers reaching towards one another but not quite touching. And water drips from their eyes, and we're not sure if it is just the atmosphere and environment or more to the power of the sadness that surrounds the gate itself.
Gavrin, a wilted rose breaks open beneath your boot, releasing a puff of pink spores that drift upward like a dying sigh. The sigh of lovers, perhaps. The sigh of exiles finding sanctuary, perhaps. What do you do?
There's a moment where Gavin just like runs his hand over the gate, looks at the birds in the little nest, clearly lost in some sort of thought. And then I take a candle from the burning branch and I whisper something to the wick. We kind of see the flame like react to the breath. And I would love to use, and I am a beacon most lonely. When you walk through a location with no other embers present, the light of your candle acting as a beacon to the dark things in the world, roll with cinder. On a hit, a danger or other threatening entity is drawn to you. You may ask them two questions from a list. They will answer in the form of a clue. And on a 10 plus, it will also leave immediately. But
Indeed. That's the real important part. Fantastic.
yeah.
So you're gonna be
Um,
rolling with Cinder then, eh?
Out of curiosity, can this move be combined with like one of the candles, like the mechanical candles that I've made?
Um, well, but yeah, because I mean, as long as because you're just marking aspects, right? So it could be,
Hmm.
you can mark an aspect for any purpose, like or for there's four purposes: either get advantage, or to give someone else a +1, to function as a clue, or to what's the fourth thing? I know they do four things. The clue,
Clear a condition.
clear condition. Yeah. So yeah, if there's a way that one of the candles can help you with this roll, you certainly can do that. Yeah.
No, because it feels like cheating because the consequence is unwanted attention, but that's the move.
No.
So I'll just roll my roll.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's still a 7.
Hmm.
So it was an 8 minus 2.
All right. Let's see here. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Oh no, sorry, that's a 6. 8 minus 2 is not 7. That's a 6. I can do math.
I do think your candle's going to draw attention. Whether you get to ask any questions or not, or whether those questions end in clues is not as clear.
Wait, your cinder's -1. Why is it -2?
Oh, is it -1? Oh, okay. I must have bumped it up in character creation. A 7 then. Okay, sorry, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So that's different. In that case, let's see here. On a hit, a danger or other threatening entity is drawn to you. You can ask them questions. Da, da, da. They won't leave immediately. Here's who shows up. The person who shows up is, I would say, very tall, very elegant, even. Or they would be. They're wearing beautiful, colorful silks that are now sort of faded to pale pastel and slightly shredded. And they have a very, kind of like, very chiseled high cheekbones, almost like kind of aristocratic face. Or they would, if not for the wide pustule-like lesions that are not leaking pus, but they're leaking flower petals that kind of just dribble down. Even as they speak, they have sores inside their mouth, which cause little flower petals to burst and dribble out from time to time. This person walks up to you in this quite exaggerated way, hand extended, as if he means for you to kiss it. He says, "I am the wilted Marquis. Welcome to the Rose Court. Who might you be?"
Gavin will sort of do that thing where he, like, not really kisses it, but kind of like holds his lips, just like hovering there for a second, not touching it. And then he leans up and says, "I am Gavin the Everlit."
Gavin the Everlit. What a fine name that is. And yet, who needs candlelight in a place like this, suffuse with sunlight and the radiant warmth of Our Lady?
Indeed. Yet there may still be things that are seen only in the light of a candle such as this.
Yes. So, I feel powerfully drawn to you, and yet I do not know why. Is there something I can do for you?
I think so. I think you may show me something. Something that has been unseen until now. Would you show it to me? And I would like to, because we know that there's this story about this lover. I guess my question is, like, how can I get, like, more information to that location where they died, or like how can I get you to guide me there? Like,
Oh, I see. How can I get you to take me? Yeah, it could just be like, how can I get you to take me to the heart of the swamp or something like that, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I'll think on it. Let me check in with Shelf. Shelf and Muck. You got a middle result, right?
Yes.
Mm. Remind me what you'd asked him. Something about the mushrooms.
Where is I believe the like where is the world like coming back to beauty, basically.
Oh, very good. Yeah. He says, well, you must understand that the mushrooms and we have a slightly different understanding of the word beauty and what beauty means than than um, than blooded folk like you. I find great beauty in earthworms crawling through the silt, or through little birds that have entombed themselves here in the shallow water, preserved for a time before finally giving up feather and flesh. Beauty is, yes, subjective, I suppose. In truth, though, I don't know much of this land. I've only just arrived myself.
Hmm. Very well.
But I did find this. And here he holds up, what is your clue? A scrap of parchment. A scrap of parchment naming a fey courtship rite, stained with bloom rot. He says, I can't quite make out all of it, but it seems that the fey who used to live in this place had quite elaborate and, in your eyes, perhaps beautiful notions of courtship and marriage and betrothal. Is this the sort of beauty you're talking about?
Something like that. Do you how do you understand betrothal? Uh, do uh,
You must understand that the mushrooms, just as we do not believe in kings or queens, the mushrooms also do not believe in merely taking one lover. No, you must understand that we have a sort of communal sense of what it means to love, to procreate, to decompose.
that well, I think we have a point of commonality there. That sounds to me much like how I would describe a company of men at arms.
Oh, are you oh, and as he's kind of stood up now and kind of dusting his pants off or wiping them off with mud. As he stands up, he kind of looks at you slightly differently, and he says, you're an ember. I see that now.
Yes, plain as day.
Right. Um, well, how's it going then? Your journey to the throne of the Hidden King. I've heard that that is um, that is what you embers do. Yes.
That is what we do. I I am in service to a member of the, well, another ember, a member of the Waxen Order. And we seek the throne, but so too do we seek allies. May we find an ally in you. May we make merriment with your mycelial brethren.
Yes, yes. I would certainly love to join you and your company. You first just have to consume this mycelium. And he takes out a mushroom and like hands it to you. And it actually has like little soft animated tendrils that are like reaching for your mouth.
All right, this will be a trial for the annals. And Shelf will take the fungus.
This is your complication from the information
Yeah.
move. You can actually, as you like eat the fungus, he encourages you just to swallow if you can, not chew. As you consume the fungus, you can kind of like, it kind of feels like something is tickling at the corners of your mind. And he gets really close to you and he says, "You see, it's very important. It's very, very important that they be able to know you, to hear you, to understand how you might fit into the network. Does that make sense to you?"
That does. I've felt something like this before.
Take a condition, the mycelial network. Well, this is wonderful. I didn't know I was going to find new friends. He looks at you and the mushrooms in this place, but I'm so delighted to have done so. What was your name?
Ah, I do not have one, but you may call me by you may call me by speaking the word shelf.
Not having a name is a terrific first start to becoming part of our gestalt. And we'll cut there. You do have your clue, though. Let's take a 5-minute break. So, Old Smoke, I think the trick with this is, are you able to watch this warrior from your hiding spot to learn something interesting without being seen yourself? And so, Nizel, since you're there, you do have the option of marking an aspect in order to give Old Smoke a +1, which would bump it up to 10, which would ensure that that happens cleanly. You don't have to, of course, and Old Smoke, you don't have to accept the help, but that's just an option.
I don't know how any of my aspects would help us be sneaky. That's not really my thing.
Fair enough. So you're watching for a time.
I was going to say nacelle, or still, not necessarily sneaky, but if we're just remaining still, anything like that?
Well, I also have a candelabra that I pulled out of old Gore's corpse, and it has flickering candlelight rather than burning bright candlelight. I mean, you could make an argument, I guess, but I don't know. The fact that it's on fire doesn't feel like it's
It
helping
feels like a
us.
stretch. I don't think it'll work. Yeah.
Yeah.
9.
Old Smoke. Then, this is really both of you see this. At a certain point, someone else comes into the clearing where this warrior is. This person who comes into the clearing is a young man, quite naked. His pale body covered in delicate bloom-wrought fractals. He has very small hands, very trim feet, and he's kind of carefully negotiating the ground, like he doesn't want to step on anything too muddy or sharp, you know? And he says, Sir Denebray, my fearsome lion, look what I found." And Sir Denebray apparently says, "Ah, Periwinkle, my beloved, what have you got there? What is this bauble? You're always amusing yourself with such trivial things." And Periwinkle says, you can't see what he's showing him, but you can hear it. Periwinkle says, "It's a ring. I found it sort of wedged into the bark of a mangrove tree. I think this might be the ring that Lady Cenduwain's beloved gave to her, that perhaps she tossed away whenever they had their falling out. Perhaps you could give me the ring. Perhaps I could be, well, and Sir Denebray says, yes, Periwinkle, if it will make you happy. And he takes this ring that, again, you can't quite make out, and he puts it on Periwinkle's finger. And they're just kind of having this little moment. And probably somewhere around that time, you don't have the clue yet. You actually have to get the ring. That's the tricky part here. One of you steps on, it's probably Nizelle, steps on a branch or something and makes a noise. And then Sir Denebray, actually puts a protective arm over Periwinkle and turns to face in your direction and says, be careful. I think there might be villains about. Come out, blackguard! Show yourself! What do you do?
I'm tempted to kick Nizelle forward to create a distraction so I can slip around behind them.
I love it. Do it.
That's what I do. That from the shadows, like this old Smoke's foot very definitely.
Nizelle, you come stumbling out into the clearing. Mm-hmm. And Sir Denebray says, well, fear not, Periwinkle, for whoever they are, they don't have much in the way of dexterity. Here, let me help you up, madam. And he, kind of stomps over there and puts down a hand. You can see now that his gauntlet, your second encounter with the gauntlet in recent days, his gauntlet has it's actually kind of shaped to look like a lion's paw, It's got kind of a lion's paw. And he reaches down to help you up. Do you accept his help?
No.
Okay.
I'm again gonna run my tongue over the empty spot where I used to have teeth, and I'm going to use the Tenderbark Confessor to push myself back up to my feet.
Indeed. He says, So, who are you? You're not a rotgaunt. All your flesh seems to be in order. No offense, Periwinkle.
My name is Nizelle of the Red Canopy.
Nizelle of the Red Canopy. The Red Canopy. Is that a sort of religious order then?
Something like that.
Yes. Oh, you are an ember. I see it.
And I can see that you are not.
No, you can, actually.
Oh, is he? Okay.
There is a bit of warmth kind of emanating, you'll see, from his armor. He perceives something similar in you. He says, I am an ember. So, fellow ember, seek ye the throne of the Hidden King?
I haven't decided yet.
Well, learn my name now, then. I am Sir Denebray the Lion. Very soon, to be King Denebray the Lion, if you take my meaning.
You're looking for the throne of the Hidden King here.
Well, I have been delayed here. And he kind of looks over his shoulder at Periwinkle.
Right. I'm also looking skeptically at Periwinkle and being like, indeed.
I've been delayed, and I must confess, my Lion Guard armor very much mislikes this wet place. It's all I can do to keep the rust away. But I also believe there are secrets to be found here. Yes, secrets that might help us reach the throne of the Hidden King, and so I doth endure this boggy misery.
Us.
Oh, embers generally.
Right. I'm not looking for traveling companions.
Ah, well, I'm
At least
afraid.
not knights.
Should you change your mind, I would be very happy indeed to take you into my company. Periwinkle says, would we be happy to do that? I would be happy to take you into my company. Someone has to, you know, make and strike camp, keep a lookout when needs be. I'll do all the killing, take care of all the danger, and you can take care of the cooking and the scouting ahead.
What a tempting offer.
And when I do reach the throne of the Hidden King, you can stand next to it, next to me on my throne as my leal companion. And your name will be recorded in the annals of this future history we're going to make. Nizel of the Red Canopy, loyal to the Lion, Red of Mane. I quite like that.
Can I just walk away?
You can. But you don't have the clue yet, though. You got to get the ring.
Oh, yeah. Who's
So,
Periwinkle
Old
has
Smoke,
the
what are you
ring
doing?
right
Yeah,
now?
Old Smoke, what are you
Okay.
doing in the meantime?
So while the distraction is very effectively happening, Old Smoke, I think, will appear from the shadows and take the ring from Periwinkle. I'm going to try to do it without even being seen if I can. So I've taken as an advancement, um, where is it here? But the meek who will walk freely.
Oh, interesting.
Long
What does
as
that do?
So long as there is a shadow or space at least half the thickness of my body and a quarter of my height, I can hide in it. And people with normal senses will not be able to find me, period.
Interesting. People with normal senses.
Normal senses. So if they are as advertised on the tin, I'm hoping that I can just literally walk into the shadows behind them and not be seen at all. And then just snatch the ring from
I
Periwinkle.
So you have a couple tricky things here. One, the ring is on Periwinkle's hand. Sir Denebray put it on his hand. You can still do it, but that's the trick. The second thing is you will see now as you get closer that Periwinkle is not entirely human. He doesn't look entirely fey either, not as you may remember them. He's something in the middle, or he's in our parlance, he's called a rotgaunt. This is sort of the fae that remain here, what they turned into. And so quite beautiful, the sort of like delicate features of the fae, but his body is covered with this sort of fractaling bloom rot. And he has like what would be quite a beautiful face if not for the dribbling putrefaction coming out of his mouth. But he still has slightly enhanced senses, right? He's not completely human here. So you still have to make a roll, is all I'm getting at. It'll be the light move, though. So how are you going to try to do it?
I think gauging that, I won't be as obvious popping out of the shadows, and I'll wait till he leans in to somewhat confide in Tenebrae to see whether or not they do want to take anyone else into their company. That's sort of like a side that he seems to have. And as soon as he starts his little soliloquy, I will slip in as best I can and just
I like it.
slide the ring off.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of like, actually, I'll set you up here. I think like after Sir Denebray makes his little speech about Nizel joining the company, Periwinkle goes off to pout and like leans up against a tree and like kind of crosses his arms, and maybe at some point his hand is dangling down and you can kind of like try to slip the ring off. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
Even better if the tree has got like some sort of like Spanish moss type stuff hanging from it, or fungus or something like that, because I can blend in better.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're like literally like a shadow, and he just like you can kind of like slip the ring off. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail, though?
that I will not just be caught, but I think that I will be seen as one of the villains that Sir Denibray
Oh,
spoke
yes, he's always worried about. Go ahead and roll with composure.
about. 11.
Nice. You can acquire the clue now. Uh, it's a beautiful like kind of ring. You can give the ring meaning whenever you get ready to answer the question, but for now you can just note it on as a clue. Do you want to describe what it looks like? Any or like it describe your process here at all? Or are you good?
In terms of how I get it, or
Yeah. If you do want to give us the scene, or are you just content with having the ring?
I think as he sort of slumps against the tree to pout, he sort of does this thing and puts both of his hands sort of underneath his arms, and it's at that point, just when he's squeezing with his own pressure, that I use that as an advantage to slide the ring off his finger without him even knowing it. And I think the ring itself is this wrought gold with a cluster of emeralds on the front of it.
Nice. Gavrin, you had asked like, how do I reach the heart of the swamp? And the wilted marquis says, well, of course, there is no reaching the heart of the swamp. Not anymore. Not since Our Lady fell to grief and ruin. Oh, it is a very sad story. Very sad. I don't know what caused their falling out, but I know that she banished him. She banished him, and in the doing, exiled herself from us. It is a tragic tale. And now, here we are. Although I must say, even though this place has changed as of late, its beauty does endure. It's just that the shape of this beauty has changed. You know, we danced in sunlight once, but now we sway for the worms. But I'm just caught in reverie. And I think you are going to get a clue in this, which is while he's going on like this, I think you actually just have time to kind of like sit and kind of evaluate the scene a little bit more. And one thing you'll notice is that here in this like kind of, it's like a little like kind of courtyard that the gate leads you to, right? There are several like kind of corroded marble columns and plinths. And one of them actually has a fragment of a love poem etched onto it with a rose, like kind of engraven, like kind of wrapping around. And of course, Lady Cenduwain's symbol is the rose, and perhaps a love poem that is special to her might be a relevant clue. But in any case, you can note that later. He says, now, I have to say, has anyone told you you have wonderfully smooth skin?
I think Gavin smiles and says, no, I don't think so. Not in those words.
I imagine it's because of all the candle wax. You burn enough of it, and it sort of creates a protective seal, I'd say. Yes, your flesh is very well preserved. I would very much like to... And he kind of reaches up to put his hands on your cheek. I would very much like to have it for my own. as you can see, I have some difficulties as of late, and you can see the sort of like weeping petal sores. And at this point, this is when you quite suddenly realize this is the sort of because your move says that they don't go away or they're a danger or something like that.
Yeah, only on a 10 plus they immediately leave, which
Yeah,
implies that on a 7 they
yeah,
don't.
they don't. You can feel vines wrapping around your ankles and crawling up your legs. He's using magic and has been this whole time to hold you into place. This is going to be the dark move. How do you resist?
I think Gavin smiles and says, "It is not sunlight, but you can still dance." And I will hold up my hand, and I'm basically like trying to tempt him into like this beautiful like court dance to so that he can't like trap me in place
Oh,
with
I
the
see.
magic,
Yeah.
like distract him from it.
Um,
Because like I don't know, I think there's like a bit of like because he's I'm the implication is I'm so beholden by his beauty still, right? I just
yeah,
can't
yeah,
resist.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the dark move. It's going to be with composure. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
Um, I feel like the obvious one is I mean he takes my skin, but I feel like it's I'm afraid that he's gonna fuck up my candles, that he's
Uh,
gonna
uh,
like do something with them, right?
yeah, I mean, it's worse than that. He's going to take your skin as well. Um, that's very, very good. And I think no. Go ahead and roll with composure.
All right. Do I have an aspect? Yeah, I think I would like to use the mourner's candle, and I would like to use the aspect that it never shortens. Because I like the idea that it does like drip wax, it just like doesn't short. So
Yeah.
I think like as we're dancing, I think I will hold up that candle and like melt the wax over his face so that he does get
Oh,
like
so
this like
this is a whole
face
thing.
mask.
Oh, got it.
It's
Good.
a
Yeah.
whole
Okay,
thing.
good.
I'm
I love
giving
it.
him what he wants.
I'm into it. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
Absolutely. Well, that is a 12
Nice.
plus whatever composure is.
I'll give you another. Do you want to give you another clue? No, I will. I'll let you unmark that aspect as your bonus, but be thinking of what the scene looks like. Let's check in with Shelf. So, Shelf, is there anything else you want to do with Muck? Or are you good?
Uh, yeah, good. Shelf has hugged Muck. I will make that known. But he's then left.
Yes.
And he has gone. I think has probably actually gone to see what Nicelle is up to.
I think as you're kind of making your way over in that direction, you'll hear things in the distance, deeper into the Mouldering Court. Laughter, soft, lilting, unmistakably fey, but kind of eventually melting into a wet, choking sob. And elsewhere, the sound of very, very large buzzing insects. Indeed, you might even see a couple of fist-sized mosquitoes flying by. They grow the bugs big here in the Mouldering Court, it would seem. I think on your way to go in the direction that Gavin was in, as you kind of make your way over to that arch, you're maybe approaching it from a slightly different path. And you'll come across an arboretum. Shattered glass walkways lie half submerged in murky pools. Rare trees slump beneath the water's surface. There's a riot of color down below. If you take the time to look at it between these glass walkways. Let's paint the scene. This was a place where strange and wondrous life was nurtured. What surviving detail shows how the Fae coaxed beauty from nature?
There was like a whole art form that the Fae had of sculpting like living things. So like creating sculpture out of these like twisting flowers and thorns and vines and everything that would come up. And all of the plant, like the greenery is dyed from it, but the like just sticks part of it is still there. So you can kind of a little bit tell what it used to be.
I have a very similar idea, but I guess to add to that, I was sort of imagining that they might sculpt flowers around the bodies of their fellow Fae who were in mid dance or mid performance, like sort of in death, basically, sort of propping them up by yeah, growing them into like trees and shrubbery.
I think even now, in what seems to be like a corrupted version of that, I think there's a tree or like some kind of architectural structure that has been like is like overgrown, but like very artfully, like very deliberately with vines that have like thick rotting fruit, and all of these like um, fly-like, dragonfly-like creatures with their beautiful like cerulean golden wings have like descended on it because they eat it, but because of the way it's placed, like the insects have no choice but to also like very artfully drape over it.
I think in the canopy of the trees, there are all manner of species of birds that have beautiful flowering plants growing from them, as if they've been almost engineered to become one with the forest themselves and bring the beautiful color throughout wherever they fly.
Shelf, you're on your way to find Gavin, but you're here in this very beautiful place, this strikingly beautiful place. Is there anything you want to do while you're passing through? Also, do you want to go ahead and call forth some of your legion so that you have them at the ready in case needs be?
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. I think on the walk through is the perfect time. Um, Actually, so I have the can the merc can the merciful condition be applied to any role,
Any
or are
roll.
there
Yep.
limitations to it? Okay. Then I think I would like to apply the merciful condition to the nameless legion endures.
Fantastic. It still counts as if you rolled it, so you get credit for rolling Cinder, but it's a 10. Please roll a die to see how many knights show up.
That is two.
Okay, well, it could be worse technically, I guess. What does that look like when they show up?
I think walking walking along these you said kind of like glass
They're,
walkways.
they're glass walkways, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, walking across these glass walkways. Um, I guess the way I describe it, sort of cinematically, I suppose, is like that. It would be sort of like a pan down, a shelf as he's just walking, just very slowly, very calmly, taking in the beauty of the surroundings, and then panning down to the glass walkway and seeing the reflection of two people walking, in stride behind him, and then panning up, and they're and they've already been there. Um, yeah, just like almost looking probably like a sort of royal guard, like a sort of entourage. Um,
I like it. We'll pick up with you in a moment. Nizel, what do you do when you leave Sir Denebray?
Well, I think I changed my mind
Oh, okay.
about leaving, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I am quite offended by this.
Okay. Very good.
And particularly if I caught any glimpse of what was happening over with like Old Shelf and Periwinkle,
I don't think you would have because
okay,
old
'cause
smoke is
it was
like
that subtle.
old smoke cannot be seen when in shadow. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so before I go, I do still intend to leave, but before I go,
A dramatic exit.
right. Right. Sir Denebray, the lion, I don't believe that you will find the throne of the Hidden King. And if you did, I would not stand by your side because your order, whatever it was, whatever your ideal was,
The Lion Guard.
it is dead. You speak for an order that doesn't exist, that never mattered, and I speak for the land. I speak for something that is still here, and it speaks to me now. And if anyone were to reach the throne of the Hidden King, it would not be you, Lionheart.
Well met. Well met, Nizel of the Red Canopy. If this is
Pray that you don't
2025,
meet
he
me
would say,
again.
if this is 2025, he'd say you ate that. But he says, well met.
All right.
I can see you have a little bit of fire in your chest, apart from your ember from the old fire. Right. Well, I wish you good luck then.
I wish you a peaceful death.
Ho ho ho! That is not honorable behavior. As you walk away, Nizel of the Red Canopy. And you leave.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
How are you feeling right now?
Birthright is the term that comes to mind. Like I'm stepping up into something that I've been wearing maybe uncomfortably for a while, but I'm like ready to own it now.
Interesting. Old Smoke, what do you do once you swipe the ring?
I have a passing thought of breaking the neck of Periwinkle and attacking the knight from behind before Nizelle tells him off. But I totally agree with the sentiments that she shares. And as she huffs off, I will also leave, but through the back way. So I will leave the two of them to their own, whether it's embrace or, I don't know, kingdom building or whatever strange adventure they seem to be on. I'm out.
Fantastic. I think, Old Smoke, as you are kind of like, kind of like slipping away into the bog, you're all quite separated at this point. I think you will turn to find yourself face to face with a millipede the size of a large dog, kind of scuttling down a tree. I can't do a scuttling noise like that, otherwise I would. And rearing up and clacking its little mandibles at you. What do you do?
When you say clacking its mandibles, it's about to attack, or
I
it's
think
just
so, yeah, yeah.
okay. I will defend myself, of course. I will close my eyes and reach out to find the best possible ways to separate it using the strands of my cloak. I'll pull it to pieces if I can.
Oh, you're gonna pull the. Oh, interesting. What's the cloak aspect?
So it's just the shreds, the shrouded shreds of my cloak that sort of billow along in the breeze. I almost kind of picture the when Old Smoke, because I have no weapons. I mean, I'm carrying this spear I've got from Old Gore, but I don't use it.
Sure.
And so it's more of push my mind out into the world around me and find the best ways to bring down whatever foe I'm attacking or defending myself from.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's see how this goes. So this is going to be, I think it's just the light move, actually. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
Uh, I I'm afraid I'm going to get stung or bitten by this thing and it's going to poison me.
Yeah.
That'd be my best guess.
So is this a vitality roll then, or is there something else going on here?
I don't know if it's vitality or composure is how I kind of think about it because I think Old Smoke closes his eyes and kind of tries to find the most vital points of
Oh,
the.
sure. Yeah. Oh, I see. You're like trying to like assess its like weak points essentially, and then use that to tear it apart, right?
Yeah, but partly because the mouse in the tower kind of encourages me to
Got it.
use an aspect up front, but I can use it as a reroll if I don't,
No, I think it's probably composure. Yeah.
Okay, alrighty. 9.
Do you want to mark an aspect to reroll to get a clean 10? I'll tell you how you're vulnerable. You are vulnerable. You will be able to dispatch the thing, no trouble as far as that goes. But I do think that it is going to. It's not going to poison you. It is going to bite you though, and you're going to have just like a little flesh wound.
Okay, so I'll mark still as frost-covered stone to remain absolutely still from the thing and do a reroll on the. Oh, that is 11.
Nice. Go ahead and give me the scene. I want to know what it looks like when you destroy this thing or evade it or
Immediately
whatever
when
you
I'm
do.
when I'm faced with it, as I said, I sort of drop down on both knees, close my eyes, and do my concentration. And I imagine that the shrouds of my cloak and robe almost sort of fly out as if they were limbs. Of course, they're not, but they're just my senses, really. And I find the most vulnerable areas along the millipedes, carapace, and the shroud sort of curl or tendrils of them knot around it. And I pull at exactly the right angle to rend it apart so I almost want to say it splits almost perfectly down the center with a suppurating, splashing mess of viscous fluid.
I love it. Fantastic. Gavin, please give me your scene. How do you deal with the wilted marquis?
Yeah, I think Gavin feels like genuine sadness for this person. I think when they were telling, oh, it's a tragic story, I think Gavin agrees, like all of this is extremely tragic to see this beautiful place so wilted and so rotten. And I think when he extends a hand, I think maybe the Marquise like is disarmed by that sincerity that's there. And the light of the candelabra of the burning branch is kind of like mimicking this sunlight. And I think for just a moment, like a breath, there is like this a tender moment of this dance. And Gavin doesn't necessarily know like how the Fey court dances, but he's willing to be led. It's a bit stumbling at first, and then it's like, a bird flapping its wings, dipping a few times in the wind, and then it catches that updraft and it clicks, it works. Um, and I think then after just a moment, not very long, given the condition that the Marquis is in, I assume he kind of like slumps on that bench. I think overcome by either exhaustion or emotion of having this genuine moment. And Gavin, as I said, will kind of very gently pick up this morning's flame and hold it over his face, not giving him his skin, but at least the wax can sort of like smooth it out a bit.
I love it. I do think you have probably also acted in accordance um, with your cinder, with the kindled heart. To bear light is to burn, because I think that like I'm almost viewing it like almost like not a literal burning, but like it's like your spirit is burning,
Mm-hmm.
in this moment.
Yeah,
So you can mark a box on the kindling gate as well.
amazing. And I still get like one other question.
Oh, you get two questions. Oh, good.
I get, yeah. I
Let's
think
have it
I'll
then.
sit next to the marquis on the bench. Um, I sort of like, I don't take his hand, but I lay like mine like palm open like between us so he can
Mhm.
like put it there if he wants to. And then I will say, it is a tragic and frightful thing to be away from your queen. What will happen now? And from the list, that question is, what do you intend to do?
Mhm. He says, I must do as we all must, those of us who fail her or disappoint her. He doesn't tell you what that is, but he holds up something from his pocket, two butterflies pinned together on a thorn, their wings still beating faintly. That's your clue. Shelf, you're still in this beautiful arboretum. What do you do?
I think that Shelf does stop for a time to just to take one of the tomes from his back and begin drawing some images of the local fauna and insects, and is kind of, I think, studying them, watching their
Interesting.
behavior. Yeah.
I like this. I like this as an information move with reason, actually.
That would be a that would be a 6.
Uh, I think as you are drawing in your book, the two spectral legionnaires will kind of signal alert as if someone's approaching. But of course, this person just walks right through them, doesn't even see them, I think. You haven't met him yet, but it's Periwinkle. He's kind of stepping, very lightly. Isn't this place beautiful?
Oh, indeed. I it was worth returning to life for.
Oh, you're an ember.
Yes, there are a few of us these days.
Huh, yes. I wish, I wish I was an ember, because it means I would have died, and perhaps I would have come back in a better form. He kind of sits down on the bench next to you or whatever you're sitting on. He says, oh, perhaps I should have let the dimning claim me. I'm not made for this life, the life of a rot gaunt, he says as some putrefaction dribbles from his mouth. I deserve pretty things, don't you see, sir? Fine silks and lace, soft beds filled with goose feathers instead of moss, arbor wine. I've just had a wonderful idea.
Mm.
Perhaps you could take me with you when you go to the old capital. Maybe they have such things there.
Hmm. I I suppose
You are a knight,
if
aren't you?
well, of course, of the Nameless Legion.
Yes, yes. And he kind of leans in close. He says, I'm very fond of nights,
Hmm.
even nameless ones.
Well, well, it is a difficult journey, but you seek the old capital. What
I just seek
do you?
lovely things, sir. Nothing
Hmm.
more. I want to be
And
away from this place.
your Lady Cenduwain cannot provide lovely things anymore.
When I did find her ring, and now it's gone. But no, no, she has sealed herself away. But let's not talk about her. I mean, this place, it's really, it's really kind of fallen apart, hasn't it? It's just filled with rot gaunts and giant bugs and mushrooms and
And
filth.
mushrooms.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
mushrooms. Ah,
Oh, do you
yes.
like mushrooms?
Oh, well, I spoke with. He, I suppose, was something of an ambassador for the mushrooms. Through his counsel, I have reached an accord with the black trumpets and the morals and chanterelles of every hue.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. It's that weird, filthy mushroom boy who arrived here a few days ago.
Oh, you speak of filth. Look at yourself. Can you not find well something honorable about being bestowed with such dirt, such grime? It covers your form. It makes it that you can be anyone rather than who you are.
Say, you're a knight, and knights go on quests, yes?
Naturally.
Well, as you have alluded to, my body is covered in bloom rot. And I think there must be a cure out there somewhere, right? Perhaps, perhaps that could be your quest. To help me find the cure for bloom rot, to restore my beauty. What could be more poetic or knightly, truly? The very definition of chivalry, even.
I I suppose. I
So then you'll accept this quest, gallant knight.
I suppose
Oh,
that I
hooray!
can't
And he grabs your hand.
refuse.
And
Yes.
please take the condition Periwinkle's quest.
Excellent.
Let's take a 5-minute break. Nessal, what sorts of things are you looking for at this point? Where do you go? What's your approach? Yeah, what's happening?
Well, I think honestly, I'm going to be looking for a mushroom that seems like it would be a good shape and size to replace a human body part.
Oh, interesting. Is this related to a move you've taken or something?
It might be down the line. Right,
Okay.
I'm looking for mushrooms that bleed.
Oh, intriguing, intriguing. Well, we have Mushroom Boy, of course. That's that.
Right, I wasn't planning on taking it from him.
Okay. Interesting. Let me take a look at my mystery sheet and see what might be. Oh, well, there's literally a location called the Fungal Menagerie. So there we have it.
Great.
You will find the Fungal Menagerie. Rot-swollen mushrooms crowd every path in impossible shapes. Luminous spores drift through the hot, humid air. Soft chittering rises from beneath the muck as unseen things feed. Let's paint the scene. The Fae once cultivated living wonders here, What fungal form hints at an artistry that persists?
I think some of these mushrooms have been like either like bred or carved to resemble roses.
There is a mushroom cap that is it spreads out into various kind of trumpet shaped holes that play a tune when someone walks by.
I think picking up on that exactly, there are various fungus, I think, hanging from the trees that mimic living voices as you pass through.
And there are some that catch the light from the moons or starlight, and they hold it, so it's sort of bioluminescence all around as you're going through.
I love it. So what are you doing here?
I'm trying to find. I would like to find a mushroom that I could train to beat like a human heart.
Well, honestly, if you're going to find such a weird thing, a Fey mushroom garden might be your best bet, right? I love it. Whether you find that or not, I couldn't say, but you can do the information move with reason, please.
Uh-huh.
We take a look at your conditions too. I don't think your conditions apply, so.
Okay. I have a +1 to reason. 3.
You got a 3? Oh no.
I got a 3.
Not great. You find yourself in a large bed of mushrooms that you seek, perhaps because it looks like they're breathing. There is a sort of rise and fall in this large cluster of mushrooms. You can maybe even hear it, this sort of like maybe there you can find something, a mushroom that can be fashioned into a heart. And so you approach, you make a move to clip or trim or take, forage such mushrooms. Regrettably, and indeed I am sad to inform you, that the earth collapses beneath you, and what was making it heave like that is the fact that it's a gigantic pit filled with sort of knuckle-sized spiders, thousands and thousands of them that you fall into. This is the dark move. Please tell me what you're afraid is going to happen right now, or what do you do, and then tell me what you're afraid is going to happen if you fail.
I am going to take a deep breath, try not to make any sudden movements because I know that spiders don't like that. And I'm going to grab one of my nails from my belt and try to push it down into the ground, if I can find the ground beneath all of these spiders. And I'm going to use one of my heartwood nails that is blackthorn for dispelling magic, in the hopes that something magical has brought these here and that I will be able to create kind of like a bubble of security for myself.
I'm into this. This is the dark move. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
That these were not brought here by any magic, so I will have, like, basically it won't do anything. When I push it into the ground, I will still be covered in spiders.
It's worse than that. The spiders are going to just basically devour you.
Cool.
But not before, like, horribly poisoning you and all that business. So.
Slow death.
It's all bad. It's all bad. This is going to be with... there's a part of me that wants to make it reason for quick thinking. And so that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. I did mark an aspect. Can I have advantage?
Of course.
Okay. Just didn't know about my conditions. Okay, cool. Advantage was good. 10.
Nice. Think of what this looks like, and I'll come back to you in a moment. Old Smoke, what do you do after you're done tearing apart this giant millipede?
Decide to go in a different direction because this swamp is perilous.
It is.
See if I can retrace my steps back to Nizel, and I think I heard Shelf coming towards us just before I left as well. So go back in that direction.
Fantastic. Good. I think you might just like, as you're kind of walking for a moment, trying to like reorient yourself, get your bearings, and kind of figure out where everybody is. I think you just come upon Sir Denebray, but like in a very like casual way. He just sort of like, you sort of turn a corner and there he is. And he says, "Ah, I did not hear you. You step softly. I assume you are some sort of burglar or robber during the time of the old fire."
I step softly, and you step like a legion, Sir Denebray.
"Ah, so you know my name then. Well, what shall I call you?"
Fellow Ember, I am Old Smoke.
"Old Smoke. Something of an ironic name for an ember, wouldn't you say?"
I suppose when one is as old as I have not had the respite of fading from existence and have been here since the time of the old fire. Therefore I am the Old Smoke.
Yes, yes. Well met. I must say, it does gladden my heart to know that my name has lived on after all these many, many years,
I am
even now
afraid.
into the time of the dimning.
I am afraid that I will have to throw some ash on that gladdening. It is your loud, voluminous voice that carries your name on the wind, and your poor choice to throw it around with such casuality. I have heard you speak, and you have not seen me. One should have their wits before them, rather than their great boasting.
Allow me to riposte. One might say I am warning all evil and villainy that their time is nigh. One might also suggest that, well, by the look of you, sir, I'm not that concerned whether I saw you or not. Don't take this the wrong way, but you don't look much a challenge.
How long have you been in the Mouldering Court, warning evil and villainy to stay away while the ground beneath you rots? How long have you wavered from your quest? Now the fire of your ember dims. Your warmth draws away in this mouldering place. I wonder what your conviction is, sir. Are you still worthy of your title? Or is it just the past that you are drawn to hearing your boasts and accolades?
You do not move me, sir. But maybe you do. Let's do the light move. I think this is dangerous to antagonize Sir Denebray. What are you afraid is going to happen if this goes awry?
Well, he's got weapons and I don't.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll with, this will be with presence.
10.
Oh, nice, good. He says, "My father always told me, Denebray, my golden son, there are people in life, sad, skulking, low-born people, who will be jealous of you. and who will try to use their words to bring you low. And in this instance, Old Smoke, I am loath to admit that your barb has struck true. I am beginning to question myself, my quest, my noble bearing. I have allowed myself to be belayed by a beauty. Do you know what that's like, Old Smoke?
I do not.
Yes, I'm not surprised by that. But let me tell you that sometimes one's heart, well, no matter how much armor one wears, one's heart is still exposed. And there is one who has hold of mine, and that is why I am still here.
Shame your family name. You shame all Embers. You should do the noble thing and remove yourself from the equation.
And I'll leave him.
Very good. Gavrin, what happens when you're done here in the courtyard of Cenduwain's Arch? Or gate?
Yeah, I think I will leave the marquee too. I'm imagining he's like when we like cut back, it's just like fully wax. There's just like a statue which will probably melt, but like for now, there's just like perfectly beautiful
Yeah.
waxen statue. I think I will try to find Shell or
Yeah, I think
the group.
you can probably overhear perhaps when Periwinkle uh, loudly delights in Shelf accepting his quest. You might hear that from down the way, and you can make your way over to the Arboretum. Um, you're in this beautiful place with strange exotic plants, the glass walkways, all that, and this young Rotgaunt, like pressed close to Shelf, looking doe-eyed at him.
I think Gavin does that thing where I like walk in, think I have seen something that I shouldn't, and do like a very awkward like turn around, like I just walked into a door of you two like making out or something.
Shelf, you'll see, Gavin. What do you do?
Oh, wait. my my flame, please. My liege. Oh. I've made alliances. Not all of them entirely willing. Uh, uh, I, uh, I would hope to assist you. This terrain is treacherous and full of strange individuals.
I think I look between Shelf and Periwinkle and kind of pick up on what Shelf is putting down and go, yes, I am in dire need of your assistance. Follow me. Just like, I'll just try to get you away from Periwinkle.
You can. Where do you two head? We can have the
What?
scene too as you're walking away.
Yeah, I think Gavin leans over to Shelf and says, what kind of allegiance you did not wish for?
Oh, I have agreed to. I've agreed to some sort of quest to assist that Periwinkle to the old throne, to the old capital, or to just find beauty. I am one of the few. There, perhaps there is beauty here that we can seek out for him. What, is there a theater?
I do not know, but there is much beauty here already. Does he not see it?
No, no, too lost in Oh, the meager whims of seeking identity.
Yes, that's
I,
truly such a silly thing.
I think to be clear, periwinkle, the quest is to find a cure for bloom rot.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The uh, yeah, shall we say um, well, it is, I think, in a place like this, especially ludicrous. All things here appear connected through hyphae, through root. It's being one is to be apart from all, and that is a tragedy.
Is then not the solution to such tragedy to find who you are without all? Who you are on your own?
You speak much wisdom, dear flame, dear fire, but perhaps my ears are too worn down by the clamor of ancient battles to understand your meaning.
I think Gavin like looks at you for a moment and then just says, "Yes, I suppose that must be it." Well, a cure. And I think I'll look around if there's like, I don't know, does there seem to be like we know that there's like the fungal, like basically somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'll just look around, go deeper into the
yeah, into the Rose Court or to the Mouldering Court.
Mhm.
Nazelle, please give me the scene.
Yeah, so Nizelle is on her knees at the bottom of this pit of spiders with like a very small circle of bare ground around her. And she digs her hand into the soil, just like deep into the soil. And then she like very carefully like watches like the nearest wall for a spider free place to do like the same with the wall. So she's got her hands in the soil on both sides. And she says, I am Nizelle of the Red Canopy. I am the one who feeds you. I am the one who gives you to drink. I am the one who listens. Hear me. Bring me to the light. And there's like a very, very slight tremor. Like you wouldn't even feel it from above, but a very slight tremor. And it's just enough to knock loose some of like the loose dirt that's in the wall and expose like rocks that are firm enough that she can use them as handholds. So then it's like, okay, and like grabs her nail and then like very quickly like dashes up the wall before the spiders close around behind her.
Fantastic. I love it. Good. You're catching your breath. We'll catch up with you in a moment. I think we can probably start to kind of put everybody together at this point with Gavrin and Shelp. Are you following Gavrin deeper into the Mouldering Court?
Absolutely.
Old Smoke, are you trying to find the others?
Nacelle first, if I can.
I like that. We can have that scene right now. Maybe you help Nacelle out of the pit, ultimately.
Oh, now you're helpful. If you are helping, I don't know.
Yeah. As you're able to look after yourself, a few shrouds come down to help you out of the pit.
Well, I hope you've been busy, done a lot in our time apart, accomplished much.
I have an opportunity for you. Do you not traffic in sacrifice?
This sounds like a more enticing opportunity than cooking for Sir Denebray.
Sir Denebray confessed to me that he has lost his way here in the swamps because his heart has been taken, I would guess, by that creature, Periwinkle. I think a worthy sacrifice would be two lovers crucified together, don't you, for Cenduwain to perhaps open the way through the swamps for us? What more of a noble gift than two loves, one an ember, ruined here? Yes, doesn't that meet your, religious trappings?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Oh, come, come. We are both creatures of blood, ambition, and duty. You don't have to hide from me. In fact, you can't.
Well, I'll look out for a suitable tree.
And I will gather the lovers.
Interesting, interesting. You can now all be together. The sun is setting at this point. The twin moons are rising. Blue El Sayin and Red Ragar. It feels slightly more comfortable. At nighttime, it's not quite so hot, so humid. The bugs are definitely much thicker at night, though, or at least certain types of bugs are thicker. I think at one point, perhaps a bit of an echo of what we just heard, you see a tangle of thorned vines that you're able to part just enough to reveal a stone archway carved with two figures holding hands. One of the figures has face intact, the other worn smooth. You see a half-submerged statue of a fey dancer, half-submerged in the bog, kind of leaning at an impossible angle, her marble fingers reaching towards someone no longer there. You have arrived in the sunken amphitheater. Tiered stone seats slumping into dark water, echoes of distant song rippling faintly through the damp air. Reeds and rot roses sway where dancers once spun. You see a tall, willowy figure draped in sun-faded silks, their once opulent colors washed to ghostly pastels. There's a golden torque hanging loose around this person's throat, tarnished, but still gleaming in the moonlight. They reach out to you, and they speak with a voice that carries across the entire amphitheater, actually, with unnatural clarity. An audience! Hurrah! An audience is a fragile thing, eager, fickle, easily lost. But the world still listens if you know how to speak to it. Every echo, a reminder that someone, somewhere, once cared enough to answer. I give my speeches to the silence now, and the silence is very polite. But how much better is it to have beating hearts, rapt attention in the seats? Please, please sit. I am Vos of House Aurine, one of the finest orators from the time of the old fire. What do you all do?
I think everyone will sit. A story sounds lovely.
She'll follow suit.
Nizelle will also sit, but a few rows back so that I can more easily escape if this goes weird.
Well, Smoke will stay in the shadows.
He begins recalling a story from the time of the old fire. It's a story about his great house, House Oreen. House Oreen was a great and wealthy house. It was one of the 6 great houses. And he tells a story of a house that grew from brigands to merchant kings, who started as explorers and ended as mighty lords, who gathered wealth all around them. But he also tells how House Oreen fell during the time of the Dimning, when the gold of their halls began to lose its luster. He goes on at some length. As you're looking around, perhaps listening to this story, the amphitheater was a stage for joy, rivalry, and devotion. As I paint the scene, what lingering sign suggests a story of those who once performed here and how their passions still cling to the place? Perhaps something that comes out in Vos's performance.
I think in the hushed night air, surrounded with maybe lightning bugs lighting up the amphitheater, there's also the hint of applause when there are short pauses in his oratory.
There are spots where old footprints, routine footprints, whether from some sort of like accumulated moisture or what, but those spots have grown into patches of flowers, and it is in those same kind of patches of flowers that like show the steps that performers took on in this stage, that we see the orator walking now.
I think there are abandoned candles from where this used to occasionally be used for like religious sort of plays. And these would be like devotional candles here and there. And at various points when he seems particularly effusive, the fireflies just sort of line up just right to make it look like the candles are still glowing.
I think that uh, I think there are like ribbons all over, like still like clinging, maybe overgrown with vines or like half rotten, that clearly were made to support like some aerial, like ribbon dancing that somebody loved so much that I think in honor of these performances that took so much out of this person, they left them up even when they weren't performing.
Vos of House Oreen finishes his oratory. and the amphitheater is quite suddenly filled with a swirl of white and pink rose petals. But as the rose petals land on you in your lap and your hair on your shoulders, they very quickly blacken to rot. And you hear a woman's voice on the hot night air. A woman's voice filling the amphitheater even more than voices. A woman's voice that seems to come from within every petal. Welcome, Embers. Know that all who wander into my garden carry a seed of longing. Let me tend it. Let me show you how beautifully it blossoms into ruin. And we'll end our session there today. Let's go to end of session. Does anyone have moves that resolve at the end of the session? All right, then. Let's take a look at our questions. I did forget to remind you all of our questions, but but you could have done that. You have not resolved a mystery yet. Some of you rolled with Cinder, though. Let's go in. I'll go in reverse order here. Gavrin, you did roll with Cinder, yes?
Yes, I did.
Fantastic. Did you risk yourself to bring hope or illumination into a dark place?
Does me offering to dance with the light count?
I'll take it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It was a dark situation, if nothing else.
Exactly, yeah. Like more metaphorical dark.
Yeah. Did you find beauty in what should have been left unseen?
I would again like going off with the candle and like meeting the marquise, which was probably not something that you should see,
Yeah,
but
no, yeah, I'm into it. I think
yeah.
it works. Nizelle, let's see here. You definitely rolled with Cinder.
Mm-hmm.
Did you perform a rite others found abhorrent, frightening, or unforgivable?
I did crucify someone.
That is true. I'm sure. Well, I mean, I'm sure Sir Kalen found it abhorrent and unforgivable. Did you give a wild-eyed monologue about how the land is speaking to you even now?
Yeah, that was my intention with Sir Denebray.
Oh, good. Yeah, good. Old Smoke. Did you roll a Cinder, Old Smoke? I don't think you did.
No.
Did you slip past an enemy when fighting them was an option?
I think when I took the ring off
You
of
did,
Perry.
yeah. You don't have another question marked, but you could have had one marked. Do you remember what your last one was?
I don't remember what my last one was.
Well, weirdly, I don't think you did any of the rest of these anyway, so I think it doesn't matter. But you should have two marked. Let's go to Shelf. Shelf, did you roll a Cinder?
Yes.
Did you act in accordance with your vows, even when it cost you something precious?
So I can think of a couple of examples. One that I would say would this is more thematically costing something, just in the sense that Shelf kind of denied Gavrin's attempt to get him to like think about himself as an individual, despite like wanting to be accepted by Gavrin, as like
it's subtle, but I like
calling
it.
Gavrin,
yeah, there's nuance there, but it works. I think it works.
As liege.
Did your pride reveal itself beneath the mask of humility?
I'd say so. In the the interaction with Periwinkle in particular, sort of like basically talking to Periwinkle, comparing Periwinkle to Muck, and suggesting that Muck is like actually much happier because he doesn't have an identity, because or that his identity is like tied to like everything instead of like this singular thing that he's chasing after.
How is your pride revealed in that?
So when Shelf said, basically said, I believe I said like, isn't it good to be like covered in filth, to be covered in
sure.
dirt?
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. No, it was a good scene. So yeah, regardless, Fantastic. Mark any XP you're entitled to, folks. And I think that's it. Let's go to Stars and Wishes.
Star for Shelf taking oaths from everybody he meets. Like, just peak night behavior. Really love it, and I feel like it's building a lot of like really cool dynamics. I love Muck. Star for that whole scene, Jason. That was great. Like every line was like great and upping the stakes and everything. Um, I loved that Shelf or not Shelf, Old Smoke kicked me out of out into the open. Like that's exactly the dynamics I wanted. Like I wanted to establish some of those, and that was great. And then Jazzy, your whole scene with the wilted marquee and the dance and the wax and everything was like beautiful, beautifully narrated. Stars.
Uh, gosh, old smoke. To use a bit of slang, absolutely smoked Sir Denebray with his words. Tore him apart like he tore apart that millipede, verbally. That was that was great. Um, that it took such a dressing down to get Sir Denebray to even be like, oh, maybe I am, maybe I am full of myself. Um, uh, Gavrin, I love kind of like Gavrin's scenes because like there was a particular scene I remember from when we first started this on Elegy where Gavrin was approached by like some wretch with a knife and Gavrin like hugged them. And like I felt like seeing kind of like in some respect also seeing like the way that Gavrin can be kind of like dangerous but also still like has this initial like acceptance and not necessarily innocence but like acceptance towards the world around him that's very charming. And I just liked having that scene together of like Gavrin calling for Shelf to accompany him when it's really Shelf who's like wordlessly trying to call for help out of the situation. Yeah, and uh, just I like in terms of the it was like an in terms of the session itself. It was just like it was an interesting like pacing the way that we split up, and it was like we were kind of like at various points trying to like get back together, but kept having these like interesting little encounters with different sort of like rot people. That were all role played excellently by you, Jason. Oh.
Yeah, stars. Just very, very happy to be playing again. Very excited for this. I love that it was on site for Tenebrae by like everyone, like everyone. Also for you, Jason Starr, like absolutely wonderful introduction. Like that was just like such a red schmuck bait button to just make like weird noises in the distance and the like no player's gonna resist that. That is so great. And immediately like I was like I know who this man is even though like I have literally not seen him. But just like by those noises like such a vibe. And then I love that everybody was like I need you to die. Like everyone hated him. I don't. Me, Jazzy, I love him. He's the worst. He sucks. Yeah, I thought Nizelle's like dressing down was really interesting to see like what it meant to her. Um, to have this moment of like, yeah, that is who I am. And that makes it okay that I kill all these people because the land loves me and it doesn't care for you. Bye, bitch. That was great. Um, Nizelle's been going through it. Old Smoke, yeah, I loved seeing Old Smoke's been sort of like very mysterious and like out there and like seeing this like really sharp cruelty because he feels like or like if that's what it feels like because this person has like failed is like really interesting to put that out there and to have like that as a character trait. Like this absolute like complete like you fucked up, so I'm gonna not just kill you, but like make you crucified and do like this horrible, horrible thing to you and like
I'm
encourage
so
that. I
excited to do that.
yeah,
Like,
that's just a great dynamic and just a really strong choice for Old Smoke, I think. Very interesting. Um, Alexander, yeah, I loved Shelf echoing the making oats to everyone, but I especially loved, I don't know, I think you play him so charming and so awkward at the same time. He's like so like eloquent and like putting this like a language and like this flowery nature to him, but then at the same time he's also like, I guess I'll eat this mushroom. I guess I'll find a cure. Please help me. Where's my bestie? It's great. Also, absolutely lost it when you called Gavin my flame in front of Barry Michael. Like, I don't know where that came from, but it was absolutely fantastic. I hope it sticks. Um, yeah, wish I want to see Star for Jason, that end scene was so beautiful. Narration, everything like so cinematic. Wish I want to see Denebray again because everybody hates him. So that's my wish. Again, very excited to introduce more mysteries. And I would love to see. I think Shelf and Nizelle is now the only one, and Gavin and Old Smoke don't have like very clear dynamics. So would love to see how that gets explored in the future.
Echoing everything everyone has already said, first, Jason, phenomenal storytelling as usual, but a myriad of characters and voices, all very easily differentiated beautifully. I could have just sat for another 3 hours and listened. It was great. And then just watching the dynamics kind of begin now that we're sort of settling into characters really play out, and a little piece for everybody. So Shelf, I made a note of the quote, "Make merriment with your mycelial network." I'm like, I had to restrain myself from like snorting tea out my nose. So that was just so good. But there is this earnestness and nobility about your character that I love in every scene you're in. You just embody it. And the same for Gavin. There's this, as Shelf commented, this innocence that comes through, but there's all empathy. You're the heart. You're the beating heart of our little group. And Nicelle is the ruthlessness of our little group. So we have a nice sort of mixture, and I think of Old Smoke sort of more discipline focused, and we sort of complement, I think, each other quite nicely, and we're really beginning to coalesce in that way. And there were elements in each of the stories as I was listening today where I was like, oh, that's so beautiful, and it anchors the character so perfectly. So thank you all for that. And then more of what I want to see, yeah, unlocking the mystery. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. That's part of the reason I've suggested the sacrifice, see if we can draw her out. I want to see how far we can push this. So it's been a pleasure again. Session 4, fantastic.
Yeah, Stars. What a great time! It was so fun. I love anytime I get to play lots of NPCs. That's just like my favorite thing to do. And this was it was surprisingly social. There's like a lot of characters and stuff, and so you can actually get, even though like you're not all traveling through like cities and villages and meeting in taverns or anything, there's still like lots of people to interact with and lots of like scenes like that to have in the mysteries. And so I'm really happy with that. Love the Nizelle Sir Denebray scene. That was really, really great. It was just really fun to role play. Sir Denebray is a particular type of like pompous jerk that I kind of really always enjoy. He's my DI pedigree of this game, right? Like, Sir Denebray is. It's like that, So really, really love it. And I love playing Periwinkle. Muck was great fun. Yeah, just good time with all these characters. And how you all kind of bounced, back, and kind of gave back to them and stuff as you were playing. I also really enjoy how you play Shelf, Alexander. There's like an earnestness to it, but also like there's a lot of humor there as well, and it's enjoyable. I also really love it's a real quick thing, but like Star, for that, like when you showed yourself, like where you described like looking in the reflection of the glass on the walkway, and then the two Legion members like showing up in the image. That was great. That was such a cool, like I could see that in my mind. It was really good. Um, yeah, the Marquis, the Wilted Marquis, and Gavrin scene was terrific. Just all of it. It was also so creepy and so weird, and so. But I also like how it kind of became this beautiful thing. And uh, I think it would have been equally cool if like you had just like killed him. But I like what you did instead as well. Like I like this sort of like more almost like gothic horror like solution to the problem. I thought that was really terrific. And I'm really liking this like kind of heel turn from Old Smoke. It's really intriguing. It's actually really it's particularly intriguing to me because I wrote the playbook. I think to me the playbook reads as heroic. Like it reads heroic to me. And so it's interesting that that Old Smoke is kind of dastardly, which I think it's an interesting like dynamic, but I think it's working. Um, there's a there's something there's something interesting that's going on with everybody where I can see that you're all already thinking about how these clues will lead to the solution, and I think that's good. Like that's kind of where we want to be, right? Because I can tell that like Ken, I'm gathering you were probably inspired by the clue with the two butterflies pinned together, right? Like that I could kind of see where that thought process came from. Um, so that was really great. My wishes, I'm really yeah, I'll introduce another mystery next week, and so you'll have a second mystery on the table. I'm very curious to see if any of you split off to go to that mystery. That'll be interesting to see. There's a tactical thing here or strategic thing here where we haven't talked about countdowns yet, but every mystery is on a countdown, and when a new mystery is introduced, you get to go to journey to that mystery for free. It doesn't mark any of the countdowns. But in the future, if you go there, if you don't immediately go, it you have to mark your countdowns on all your mysteries. And so that's just one kind of. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Also, it's interesting that you have not opened the Morning Tower yet. My other group, they've opened the Morning Tower. They did it before they left Elegy, and so they spent more time on Elegy as a result. Um, so they kind of bank time for the future, but they can't go back. They can only go back once the mystery is resolved. You all can go back whenever you want for purposes of opening the Morning Tower, and so I'll be curious to see if anyone does that because you all can split up. Some of you can be at the Morning Tower, some of you can be at a mystery, some of you can be doing doing something else, and so that's. I'll be curious to see what decisions you all make in that regard. Not only because I think it'll be interesting for the story, but also because I'm curious, this is still technically a playtest, like to see how that works. So I'm very excited by that. One thing that's not a star or a wish, but an observation, I guess. I've been kind of ruminating on this, feedback I got on Discord yesterday about like the paint the scene questions feeling samey, like, and I read that and I've been thinking a lot about it because I was like, are they samey? And they are in Mouldering Court, which granted is the only mystery that's not Elegy that's available for anyone to look at. In the Mouldering Court, they all have this same like arc of like, tell me how it was before. But having played it, and we did about 4 paint the scenes, I think it all still felt different enough to me. Like they all had the same kind of theme, I guess, but they were different types of. It was different types of stuff being described, and it was different. It was a different vibe. I'm curious if anybody had thoughts on that, but that was my. I was paying particularly close attention to that. I was like, well, I wrote them wanting to clearly explore that idea of the lost world that used to be, and like how is it, how do we still see it, like how do we still know it. And I'm sure that like my focus on that particular theme is also because it was the first mystery. So like I had like in my mind like it being kind of like the mystery that really explores the big themes of the game. It doesn't have to be, but I wrote it because it was the first one, or after Elegy it was the first one. And so I'm kind of curious, like, I haven't looked at all the drafts in super detail yet of the ones I've received, or at least not enough to remember. So I'll be kind of curious to see if, like, do we have some variety in the paint the scene questions so that we're not just like hitting these same themes over and over again. But I don't know, in the Mouldering Court, I think it works. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you all feel about it, but I kind of thought it was okay that they all kind of have the same basic, like, what was the world like before kind of posture. But I don't know.
Yeah, I remember I saw that comment and I remember like when I just like read it, I had
Yeah,
like very much the same thought like, oh, these are like very like
yeah,
the theme here is very because usually paint the scenes like will be like quite different.
there. Yeah, yeah,
Um, so I think like it, having just read it, I did think that, but having played it, I think especially, I think it's as you say, like I think if this mystery is supposed to sort of be like one of the earlier ones, I think it totally works because it is like it's heavy on the theme, but like it kind of wants to be like
yeah,
that. That's what it felt to me. Like the more you do these kind of paint the scenes, the more it just like tells me as a player like this is the theme
yeah,
of
yeah.
the
This is
advent,
kind of
like you
what the
know.
game is. Yeah,
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 and as you say, I think it's like you are describing different things. Like you're
yeah,
describing the art, you're describing like so it didn't feel to me like I have no you know, like at no point was I like, I don't know, Jason, I have no more ideas, you
yeah, yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
So like they were inspiring enough to every time be like, oh
yeah,
yeah, I know
yeah,
like I know
yeah.
what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of pondering. I was like, well, what if, like, what would be the other things? Like, I guess maybe I could like talk about, I guess you could take it from the reverse. Like, how is Lady Kenduin's sorrow apparent here? But I kind of feel like that's the whole thing. So I kind of feel like the whole mucky Mouldering Court is that. So I don't know, but I'm sure there's some other angles I could like try to find there. But I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not unhappy with it. Like I think it's fine, but I don't know.
I
I think
think
they're
even
evocative. Sorry, I was going to say, I think they are evocative of Lady Kenduin's, like the aspects that have
Yeah,
entrapped her
yeah,
in
yeah.
the report. And I felt that as we answered each one subsequently, we kind of layered.
They kind of built on each other, right? Yeah, that was my thinking. It was like it really created like a. This was a comment that like someone made in the Discord a couple or a few weeks back, like talking about how like the sort of like the sort of ornamentation that you would have in say Elden Ring or a video game like that, like that sort of like visual ornamentation. There's not an easy way to convey that in a tabletop role playing game, but you get it through Paint the Scene. Like we get this sort of like ornate ornamentation of the world, this texture, and it does kind of build on itself. It seemed like it was today. Like I could see you all kind of like yeah, like you were all kind of like I could see you all like kind of building on these ideas and kind of just ramping it up like and I don't know. I thought it was really good. But anyway, go ahead, Alexander. What were you gonna say?
oh yeah, I was just gonna say I guess like taking even if you were to sort of like take that idea to its natural conclusion, like let's say that you did write paint the scene you did have multiple paint the scene questions that were literally exactly the same
Yeah.
written out, right? Of just like what's the sorrow in this
Yeah, yeah,
location?
yeah. Like it
That's
was just
still
the
going to
literal same
change.
question. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's still going to change based on the context of the location. Like
Right. Yeah.
the sorrow of an arch is different from the sorrow of a garden or a stage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's right. And in this case, it's not that, right? Like it actually it does have slight like variations in terms of
Yeah,
like
we
how.
had very distinct
Yeah,
answers every
yeah,
time.
yeah. Anyway, it was just something I was thinking about. But
Yeah, and in terms of the paint the scene all kind of being like backward looking, that makes sense for us because like that is our world, right?
right,
Like this
yes.
is not our world. That was our world.
That was
And
that's what because when I was writing them, that's the perspective I was coming from. It was like, well, I'm the
yeah.
Ember. Like, what are the
Yeah.
Ember? How do the Embers experience this? And I guess you can't do it
Yeah.
forever, but like,
Well,
but
you
I
can
think
do it all the way up to Amberell, I think.
yeah,
Right?
I
Like
mean,
that
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I wonder. Like, I mean, I do think that like I do think that there's like ways to vary that a little bit, but I guess like yeah, my thinking was. I mean, I know I wasn't consciously thinking of this, but I think probably because the Mouldering Court was the first one I wrote, I leaned particularly heavy into that. And the Great Forest will be the first land that most people play because it will be the first one available. So I guess it's like good to kind of get those those big themes in there. But I don't know. I tend to think it was okay. Like I didn't have an issue with it. Like it kind of felt fine to me. But you know. Um, and I totally disagree with that person's comment about doing too many struggles. That was just wrong. Shit. I bless that person if they're watching the video. I'm not calling you out. I can tell you love the game, and I'm happy you love the game, and I'm happy you're playing it. But that's just wrong. Like the struggles are so fun. Like they're so fun. Okay, I think that's all I got. Anything else before we go? All right, then I'm going to wave goodbye to anybody watching the video.